Hello, this is Dawn McCoy with Flourish Leadership Group, where I ignite your leadership to the next level. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk with you because it is that time. It is weekend time, it's downtime, regroup time, and just rest. And I thought I would just share with you some great insight that I have about how leaders can be more effective by doing just that, checking out, regrouping, retooling, taking that pause. We often as leaders can take ourselves a little serious, can't we? And to do that means that we also have to have that playtime and rest time. And I wanted to bring to you just 5 key points about how we can do that, thinking carefully. So if you grab pen and paper, I want you to join me. And for the replay viewers, tune in, take some notes, and feel free to drop in the link what works for you. One of the first things that we can do is really just unplug. It sounds easier said than done, but when it comes to a weekend or vacation, take that time that you need to just say, you know what, unplug, pull the plug, cut off the phones, turn off the television, back away. Make sure that you're taking that time to pause. The second and most important part is to make sure that you're getting ready to reinsert yourself back into that process. We often forget that we need to be ready and geared up when we need to plug back in to be able to turn on that switch. So I want you to tell yourself and make yourself a note right now that you are going to think about what you will do to get reconnected before you unplug. And so in that way, it may be setting up your calendar, maybe setting some reminders to yourself when you come back online, maybe after a vacation or a couple of days away. What will you do to make sure that you are staying on point with your tasks and obligations as a leader? We often don't think about that being an important part of really making sure we're maintaining that momentum. And to do that, send yourself a reminder, maybe make a note on a calendar, maybe have someone like an associate or your assistant remind you of what you need to be doing, or setting out some tools ahead of time in your desk area so that you can resume workflow and get back and get started. So the third point is actually quite intuitive as well, but making sure that you are doing leisure work, not work, but make sure you're doing leisure work. And by that I say, getting your favorite periodicals and reading those. Sometimes it's stashing away some books that you've meant to read and that you want to take those on a vacation. It may mean that you're tucking away some great word puzzles or other types of mind games that you can have to really rest your brain. But whatever works for you, make sure that you have that at your whim and hand to be able to have as a resource, because it is about recharging your brain. We often played board games when we were kids. And let me tell you, those were some of the best times. Board games, card games, outdoor games, anything that can really recharge your mind in a different way. Puzzles, activities, group, family games, they're all wonderful resources and tools to really repattern some of that thinking that you do every day as a leader, but to help you think through in a different way and really to maximize that brain power, brain capacity, and really leverage those thinking skills, keeping them sharp, but while stepping away. So I've given you just a couple of points, and I wanted to just take a moment to pause because this is actually part of an inspired series for me about how leaders can be more effective. We think about getting down and drilling down and getting more training. Yes, that's important. But it is important as well for leaders to be mindful about checking out, retooling, regrouping, and making sure to mount up in areas where there may be some gaps. And so this is one where we often think about stepping away, taking a break, and unplugging, but not necessarily thinking about doing that. So just to let you know, this is part of a broader series that you'll continue to hear about from me on what leaders can do to be more effective in what they do. So we've talked about 3 points now, and to just drive the point home, the final 2 points are quite intuitive as well, but mindful that we as leaders need to think about that. So I do want you to take out pen and paper, and I do want you to think about getting one list together of what you will do to unload your brain of the leadership tasks that you have. Yes, that's right. The leadership tasks that you have. They may be obligations that you have to lead an effort, an endeavor, an initiative. It might be some sort of capacity building that you're doing. It might be an endeavor across multiple areas of leadership. Whatever it might be or whatever those things might be, jot them down on paper. Because as that fourth step is being able to take those out of your brain, put them on paper, assemble them in such a way that you can come back to them when you rejuvenate and when you get back online. Because that's the important part about being able to unload the brain and be able to come back to that with fresh eyes and maybe regroup. Some of those activities could be paired together. Interestingly enough, some of those activities might be delegated and might be in better hands of someone else. You might be able to pass along something to an associate. If you're a coach of a team, you might be able to have the assistant coach do that activity. If you're a pastor of a church, you might have some of the administrative staff support you in that effort. And so there are different ways that we can think of really unloading those things by having them in our brain. And the last and final piece is have fun. That's right. Be sure to have fun. Be sure to laugh wildly, live broadly, be able to just unplug and recharge, but laugh and have fun. And I say that because oftentimes we take ourselves so serious as leaders and don't think about having fun and just saying, you know what, we're going to laugh and we're going to have an afternoon of laughter, or we're going to have a day of doing nothing. No tasks, no obligations or responsibilities, just fun. Maybe go to a comedy show. Maybe go to a children's art program. Maybe go into a community where you can just do community service and laugh and live and breathe. These are all exciting opportunities for you to think creatively about how you can be more effective as a leader by being able to unplug, step away, and think of these 5 key ways that you can do this and be able to come back to your leadership role and resume right where you left off. So again, this is Dawn McCoy with Flourish Leadership Group, where I help ignite your leadership to the next level. If you'd like to learn more about me, check out flourishleadership.com and get more information about how you can be a more effective leader. This series is part of a broader series, these 5 points, and I will be coming to you and sharing more about what you can do to be a more effective leader. Until we meet again next time, be enriched, be enlightened.